there, welcome to the channel or welcome back. I'm Angela and today is Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. Starting off the week planting some potatoes. So if you'd like to come along with me, let's do it. We had some pretty massive thunderstorms last night and a ton of rain. There's all kinds of puddles and the ground's pretty squishy. And actually the sky looks pretty threatening. I don't think we're done yet. So I'm gonna work for as long as I can while the weather holds up and we'll see how far we get. And depending on that, we might be back here tomorrow again planting potatoes. And the first variety that I'm planting is red Lesota. And got them here on my little pizza pan. They've been curing after I cut them into their chunks. And maybe one's starting to get some mold on it. I only waited like 3 days, so I don't feel like I let them sit for, too long. But they're gonna go in these grow bags here. I'm just gonna kind of pack them in as close as I can, and that makes sense just to maximize my space. So once again, it's one of those we'll see how far we can get type of things. Hey there, it's Sunday, April 7th, and this is the first time I've really done anything like garden-y or garden related since the previous clip that you just saw. Our weather took a real turn for the worst and the temperatures plummeted. We've had a couple of frosts and it's been so cold and massive amounts of rain, which is good for, the ground in general. And it's definitely good for our pond, which was getting low, but it did kind of keep me from doing much outside or related to the garden at all. But knowing that warmer temperatures are coming, I'm going to go ahead and start up potting some of my tomatoes. That way I can start setting them out during the day, getting them used to being outside. So that's pretty much all I'm going to be doing today. I'll kind of talk to you guys as I work on this. I'm doing this right here in the kitchen today. And I think that some of them will be able to go outside today actually, because it's supposed to get maybe low to mid 60s Fahrenheit, which is good enough for tomatoes. So let's get going. So I've kind of got everything set up on my little island here. I've got my soil, and this is the first time I've used black cow. It's raised bed soil with compost mixed in. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to work out for me. And then I just grabbed a bunch of these are probably 3x3 little seed starting containers or potting containers. And I've got a couple of cookie sheets here that stay with my garden supplies, and they're dedicated for this purpose, so it's okay if they get rusty and dirty, and we're not going to be using them to cook on. So I'm just going to fill up my pots here, which will take me just a little bit. I brought the whole bag of soil inside, but it's kind of sitting off to the side over there, and I'm just kind of portioning it out into this bowl, which is easier to manage here on the island. But I can see that I'm going to run out pretty quickly and have to top off my bowl. I might just end up bringing that whole bag over after all. Once I get to a good stopping point with this, I'll kind of show you how all my seedlings are doing so far this year. They're doing really well, and I can't wait till everybody can get outside for the year. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to grab that bag and I'll be right back. Alright, so here's what I've got left in the bag, and it's pretty unwieldy and it's kind of noisy, so I think I might have to go ahead and put some in this bowl, and I'm going to do that now, so that way it's a little bit quieter for you guys. I know the crinkle sounds can be quite loud. Actually, it might make more sense for me just to go ahead and fill these pots up. I'll time lapse it and we'll get that over with, and then I'll start sticking my seedlings in. All right. Now, in case you're wondering, I normally like to do any kind of potting like this outside, but it's still chilly out. It's early morning, not early morning, but it's morning, and our temperatures are still in the low 50s, which is too chilly for me because I love hot weather and can't tolerate cold or even cool weather very well. So I'm doing this inside. Normally, I definitely would prefer to do this process outside so I can be as messy as I want. But this is what we got today. Let's get back to it. So I've got a flat of my seedlings over on the other, over that way behind you guys. And I've got some tomato seedlings here. These are definitely needing to be potted up. I'll kind of just explain to you what I'm doing as if you don't know, which you probably do know how to do this process, but maybe we'll just chat as I work. And I'll show you the seedlings, like the types of tomatoes that I've got this year. This first one is called Rutgers. Actually, let me back up. I'm going to moisten this soil, and then we'll get started with the seedlings. All right, now we can get started. So my first variety is called Rutgers, and this is a robust seedling here. And I remember this plant from last year, Rutgers, when I grew it, and I remember this thinking the same thing about this plant. Even when it was like a tall plant, it was sturdy, nice thick stems, robust plant. The tomatoes are pretty good too. I kind of went nuts with just overseeding everything this year because I didn't want to have to go back and reseed if any particular variety failed to germinate. So I'm probably going to have duplicates of some of these or even triplicates or more. And then anything that's a little bit too tricky to separate out, like these two kind of are, they grew together there at the base. I'm just going to pinch this weaker one off and we'll just have the one for this. And when these do go out in the garden, of course, I'll bury the stems as deeply as I can just to end up with a stronger plant and a better root system. But for now, there's only, so deep I can go in these little pots. Next, I've got Summer Sunrise. That's a nice tomato. I grew that last year and it didn't flourish as much as I had hoped, but it did okay. But the seedling is kind of precarious. I usually end up with way more seedlings than I have space to plant, so I give a lot of seedlings away every year, just to my coworkers, or friends, family. I think I'm going to end up needing to make some more labels for these ones that have duplicates, just so I know what's what, especially if I'm going to be giving them away, so the recipients know what's what. This next one is San Marzano. I've always had good luck with those. Those are really nice paste tomatoes. And once again, this is just kind of a weak little seedling there. I'm going to pinch that off. We'll go with the stronger one, but I'm noticing that it's got some dry leaves and kind of curling. I don't know if that's anything to be concerned about. I'm going to go ahead and plant it, and we'll just have to keep an eye on that one. Some of these, like this one, has 5 seedlings in the one little cell. And I should have been more judicious about how many seeds I put in, but I just didn't want to have to go back and reseed. I wanted at least one seedling to take from each cell, so I overseeded. It's okay. I save seeds, most of these by far heirloom varieties, and I save seeds from everything that's successful. So I definitely have no shortage of seeds. I need to make labels, and I will be back. Yeah, and the next one that I'm doing is Sun Gold. And I think Sun Gold might be my favorite, top 3 tomatoes overall. Definitely my favorite, like cherry or grape sized tomato for sure. I love these, and I will never not have these in my garden. They taste so good. So I've got 2 seedlings there. I'm going to split these. Luckily, they are far enough away that I can safely split them. Far enough apart from each other, I should say. And these particular sun golds are ones that I grew from seeds from the original packet. I also, I think somewhere in amongst all my seedlings, have some sun golds that I grew from seeds that I saved. So that'll be kind of neat to see how those do compared to each other. Okay. I'm having to step away every now and then from the table to kind of wash and dry my hands in order to make new labels. And this next one I'm going to do is another summer sunrise, which we put in right here. These are ones that I grew from seeds that I saved last year. And I've got, how many seedlings are in here? There's 5 seedlings, so I think I'm going to try to save 3 of these and plant. Pull this whole clump out. So I don't know if you guys can see. Try to bring this in closer. How these are, there's 5 of them packed in. I should be able to separate out 3 of them at least successfully, or maybe 4. Let's see. Yeah, maybe I can get 4 out of that because I have 4 labels. I wasn't doing my math right, and I made up an extra label. So we're gonna try to plant 4 of these. We'll see how they do. Doesn't hurt to try. And if I have more to give away, well, that's all the better. Definitely making a mess here. It's okay. House needed cleaning anyway, right? And the only other one left in my little cell pack here is Tachi. I've grown those pretty successfully in the past. For some reason, it didn't germinate this year, and I had even gone back and reseeded this a few weeks after the first seeding because there was no germination and there's still nothing. So I'm just going to recycle this soil and call it a day. And some years, if you don't have certain varieties, it's not that big of a deal. It's just the way that it works out. I'm going to water these in really good now, and I'm going to be back and we'll chat. Okay, so I'm going to carry on just up potting my tomato seedlings. I've got like a bunch more. That one little cell pack, which is like a tiny amount of all the seedlings that I have to deal with right now, or at least get most of them done today if I can. For now, though, I'm sure you guys probably don't want to watch me up pot like 35 more seedlings or however many. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how the rest of the seedlings are doing. I'm going to take you back to the laundry room, which is my little mini greenhouse area, and show you. Okay, so here are where the rest of my seedlings are. All except the onion seedlings, which will be getting planted out this week. They've been outside for a while now. In this tray here, those are all peppers, which are doing quite well. Got a bunch more tomatoes here, mostly, and maybe some herbs there. More peppers right there. And I've got like a whole bunch of hodgepodge stuff in these two trays. Herbs, eggplant, asparagus, some flowers and perennial seedlings that I'm trying to start, zinnias, cosmos. So that is where things are standing right now. And I might go ahead and just leave it at that. I'm going to be spending the day doing more up potting, as I mentioned. And that's like, that'll close out Sunday in the garden pretty much. Tomorrow we'll start a new week. So I will catch up with you guys next weekend. Hope you have a great week. Thanks for watching.